Hello. This video is going to be about the just the absurdity of life without God. Um, and I'm sure you've heard the Nietzsche quote. God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. See, the thing about Nietzsche and most atheists today is they don't. The different thing about Nietzsche is he fully understood what happened when he said that he killed God, and what happened with the meaning of life. Most atheists today are like secular humanists, and they try to apply value to their lives where there is no value.
From 01 to the 37th second of his video, Russ meanders into the fallacy of the slippery slope. There is no logical justification for the far-fetched conclusion that being an atheist or secular humanist means there is no meaning in one's life.
Everything becomes brutally meaningless and absurd. The universe eventually will hit a heat death and die out.
From 38 to the 45th second of his video, Russ commits an argument from ignorance, as he has no positive evidence the universe would die a heat death. Further, Russ ignorantly assumes a hidden premise that most Christians do, which is that the universe is everything that exists. To say that the universe is everything that exists would mean it could not die, because that would assert that existence could be non-existent. If the universe is not everything that exists, then Russ's doom and gloom is unfounded, as there is existence unaccounted for besides the universe that will make his implication that everything will be over irrelevant.
And so what does this mean for mankind? If there's no God, there's no immortality. It's an unavoidable execution. Life holds nothing. It has no ultimate meaning, value, or purpose.
From 46 to the first minute of his video, Russ reveals the true nature of his Christian faith, which is that it's grounded in subjective selfishness. Russ doesn't care about meaning in life so much as he cares about not dying or living forever. During this period, Russ makes a bunch of arbitrary assertions and non sequiturs, trying to absurdly connect lack of a God and lack of immortality to having no meaning in life, none of which does he validly justify one whit. Russ is doing nothing but committing the fallacy of an appeal to fear. He is essentially saying, I fear death, and if I don't live forever, I fear life has no meaning, therefore there must be a God.
Now one may argue, my life has plenty of meaning without God. Well, sure, it's a personal, subjective meaning, but on the grand scheme of things, it means absolutely squat. It wouldn't have mattered if this person existed or not. Just like the Big Bang or like the universe. What's the difference if it goes what's the difference even if it existed or not? You know, there's nothing. The same goes for humanity. We are doomed for death, a brutal death, I might add. Man holds no special value. He is no more valuable than a book, a tree, the universe. It all ends the same. Nothing is different.
101 through 141 consists of Russ poisoning the well in favor of his selfish God belief, as Russ tries to discredit the dynamics of human meaning as subjective and inadequate in relation to his God, which basically boils down to an argument from incredulity, as Russ can't imagine how objective meaning can obtain in the universe without his God giving it to him. This is just an immature outlook born of bias and wishful thinking. There is nothing mature about needing some God to tell you it matters whether you existed or not, or needing some God before you think it even does. It's just pathetic.
We came from nothing, by nothing, to go into nothing.
142 through 147 is so ignorant it defies comprehension. How Russ could sit there and claim humans came from nothing, by nothing, to go into nothing is hard to fathom, and that's putting it kindly and mildly. When anyone with a modicum of intelligence knows humans came from evolutionary processes, were made by evolutionary processes to go into death as the natural cycle of depletion and renewal carries out.
You can throw out morality also. Once one has denied God, they have landed themselves in complete moral relativism. No matter how heinous or horrible the act, the atheist cannot condemn it such. They cannot state that anything Hitler did was wrong, nor they state that anything Mother Teresa did was anything good. It's all subjective. If life truly ends at the grave, You could have lived like a saint, or you could have lived like Hitler. It wouldn't have made a single difference.
148 through 219 commits the fallacy of an appeal to consequences, as the premise of Russ's argumentation consists of trying to claim that the consequence of his God's potential non-existence would be that morality would devolve to subjective relativism, which leads to Russ committing the further fallacy of an appeal to emotion, as Russ tries to manipulate his audience's emotions with the use of the Mother Teresa, Adolf Hitler examples.
You must understand this is not an argument for God's existence. This is the brute reality. If God does not exist, life holds no meaning. If God does exist, there is hope. Now, let me explain this on two different levels. There's personal meaning, which God applies. God applies personal meaning to my life. Intrinsic value. God values me. He died for me. Now, that is a personal relationship type of value. I'm talking about the value of us actually living and being put here, instead of being coming from nothing, by nothing, to go into nothing.
224 through 311 is the last segment I'm going to bother analyzing, since the rest of Russ's video is more of the same gaggle of fallacies and regurgitation of subjective, bare-faced assertions. Russ had the nerve in this segment to declare that it's a brute reality that without his made-up God, life holds no meaning. Here he is committing a very common tendency among Christians, which is to conflate absolute morality with objective morality. Absolute morality is nothing more than tyrannical slave morality, as you are being told what to do or how to act or else. Objective morality is what all mentally healthy humans have, and that comes from common sense, maturity, and human selfishness. The vast majority of humans would condemn the crimes of the Nazis because we would not want that to happen to us or our loved ones, what happened to the Jews. That's subjectively based because virtually all humans have the same impulse of selfishness, which means the vast majority would agree genocide is wrong, and as such, it is undistorted by emotion or personal bias. Since it's common sense, you would not want that to happen to you, which means such acts are objectively bad or evil. How does one know it's objectively wrong to steal? Well, it's because you would not want that to happen to you. How does one know it's objectively wrong to key someone's car? Because from a selfish standpoint, we would not want our car to be keyed as well. So in no way, shape, or form is Russ's God needed for humans to attain objective morality. Russ is confusing what he wants for what actually is.